Kama LGBTQ is sin, then pia kulewa ni sin. Kuvuta bangi ni sin. Mbona tunajaribu kuweka sasa sin moja ni worse kuliko ingine? I don't support it, but ni kitu iko, so we just have to learn to live with it, you know.
Yeah.
We can't kill them.
Yeah, sure.
Which is fact. Hatuwezi waua. Na in as much as kuna wenye wanajaribu kuji-impose kwetu,
Yeah.
the only thing I'd say is that wasi overdo, yani, unajua? Wasi overdo so much to a point. Tushajua you are gay.
Yeah.
Hakuna haja kuvaa short inafika hapa.
Yeah.
Hakuna haja kupaka lipstick. Hakuna haja kuongea kadem. Unajua? Just keep it to yourself. Find your mate uko chini ya maji. Do your stuff uko, but sasa kukuja na kuanza kutembea kukisiana machali, unajua? You are confusing the kids and all that. Na watu wenye wajui juu. Sasa kama mtoto mwanachalia na kiss chali mwenzake, already atakuwa ameshapotea, like kwani kunafaa kuenda aje?
With the High Court ruling which allows the LGBTQ community to form associations such as NGOs, is it a call for an alarm for the churches and the Kenyans in general? Today, Angaza 254 Real Talk Show, we are talking about the LGBTQ community and the ruling that was done by the High Court. Do you think they should be legalized, or should they continue being illegal? I'm your host, Cashy. So I'm here with
Kenneth Mbani.
Okay. So Kenneth, the topic of Angaza 254 Real Talk Show, we are asking about the LGBTQ community, the ruling that was done by the High Court. Are you in support? Are you not in support?
First, I don't think the court ruled that LGBTQ should exist in Kenya. They just gave the permission to register itself as an NGO.
Okay. So do you think that's an alarm to the Kenyans?
I wouldn't say it's an alarm because, truth be said, LGBTQ has existed ever since, even in the period of the Bible. Yeah. And ni kitu tu imekuwa tu ikichezwa chini ya maji. Ni vile of late imekuwa tu on the rise. That's the difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Daddy Owen said that if the High Court has ruled that they can register for the NGOs, it is the same as allowing them to register. We can register things like the illegal, the unlawful acts like terrorism. Do you think it's true?
Najua kitu funny na one funny thing with human beings. Yeah. We are all sinners, judging other sinners for sinning differently, you know, yeah. Which is double standards, because kama LGBTQ is sin, then pia kulewa ni sin. Kuvuta bangi ni sin. Mbona tunajaribu kuweka sasa sin moja ni worse kuliko ingine?
So Kenneth, a question that I should have asked as we began, do you support LGBTQ or not?
I don't support it, but ni kitu iko, so we just have to learn to live with it, you know. Yeah. We can't kill them.
Yeah, sure.
Which is fact. Hatuwezi waua. Na in as much as kuna wenye wanajaribu kuji-impose kwetu, yeah, the only thing I'd say is that wasi overdo, yani, unajua? Wasi overdo so much to a point. Tushajua you are gay. Yeah. Hakuna haja kuvaa short inafika hapa. Yeah. Hakuna haja kupaka lipstick. Hakuna haja kuongea kadem. Yeah. Unajua? Just keep it to yourself. Find your mate uko chini ya maji. Do your stuff uko, but sasa kukuja na kuanza kutembea kukisiana machali, unajua? Yeah. You are confusing the kids and all that. Na watu wenye wajui juu. Sasa kama mtoto mwanachalia na kiss chali mwenzake, already atakuwa ameshapotea, like kwani kunafaa kuenda aje? Yeah. So
Kenneth, you've said that this thing existed before, the LGBTQ community existed before, even so, but it wasn't that spreading, it wasn't that famous, people didn't know about it. What do you think has kuchangiad watu wakaijua sana ikakuwa more popular and more, we won't call it famous, ikakuwa more popular because it wasn't that known before?
Really?
Okay.
Utaisikia mzazi anakula kijana yake kwa nyumba na ni ameolewa. Ni kitu, the thing is, as African society, kuna issues we don't want to talk about. It's not like hawajui. Ni vitu zinakujanga kama news. Tio pastor amepatikana na kijana na sodomize father, sijua amefanya nini, na hiyo story na kanyagiwa na inaisha hivyo. It's not something we talk about. It's like kwenda kuambia mzazi you are depressed. Mzazi atakwambia wende ucheze utakuwa sawa. These things never we need to talk about them, you know. We discuss how to contain them. Si just to avoid them na kusema ati hizo ni Illuminati, sijui hizo ni devil worshipping, sijui hizo, like talk to people, teach your kids these things happen but you should not do them because of this and this and this. Because we kama mzazi, mtoto wako siku moja at 12 years old akuja kuambia pendi mademu, utafanya nini? We are talking facts. Your kid, your own kid mwenye you are supposed to be protecting, utamfanya nini?
But where do you think that this kid is getting that behavior from? Is he seeing it around? Or is it something like they say, I'm born like that, it's my hormones?
What happens, okay, I'm not a specialist in this, but according to how I've known how these things happen, like the little knowledge I have, kuna people who impose themselves. Kuna mzazi alipeleka kijana yake boarding school, akakuwa molested high school, akiwa form 1. Na he picked it from there. Like, unajua kuna mtoto amesomesha primary, amekuwa boarding. High school ameenda boarding. Boys school. Boys school unakaa na chali. Ukienda home unakaa hapo una TV watch. Like, hadi mzazi akuruhusu kusocialize. Unafika high school, unapata form 4 hapo, anakubuli. Anakubendova huko kwa dom. And then inakuwa ni hivyo. And then there's this other type when wamezaliwa tu hivyo jo. Kuna watu tulisoma nao Raimama high school, anaongea kadem, anajifanya kadem, yeye anachezanga na madem. Machaliwa kidiscuss ball yako huko anacheza kati. Unajua hizo ni signs zingine zenye we always overlook them, but it's happening.
So I'm here with
my name's Kiplimo Raymond, former aspirant MP Mgwen constituency, that is in Nandi County. Yes.
So the question today, we are talking about the LGBTQ community. Recently, the High Court ruled that they can form associations like NGOs. What does that mean for the country and for us in general?
Well, we respect the decisions of the court. They have their own views, their point of view, and how they reach to that conclusion. We are yet to decipher and dissect that and come to terms. It's so foreign to us to even start thinking about LGBTQ as a country. We are a country that is formed under the basis of traditional norms, societal norms that have guided our forefathers down to this generation of ours. So the coming of this LGBTQ issue is so foreign to us. I don't know where to start deciphering it from. Yes.
The first lady, Miss Biden was in the country, and she, according to the claims or according to the internet, they are saying that she loaned us, was it 16 billion or something?
16 billion.
Yes, 16 billion. And after the ruling, the events that occurred this weekend might have led to what the High Court decided. Do you think that is true?
That's not true. Because the fund that were given, the 16 billion, were very, it was drought assistance. I never saw somewhere written LGBTQ assistance. So we all know the drought condition of our country. The rains have not been doing well for the last 6 seasons. People are suffering immensely. And the 16 billion, I believe, she was in the country, she traveled around, and she saw with what she can assist. It's a kitty for the drought, for the food security situation in the country. But now you, the media, the fourth estate, you want to create a storm in a cup of tea by saying this 16 billion is because of the High Court decisions that allow the formation of associations by the LGBTQ community. In fact, myself, personally, I've never seen someone who came out frankly and said, I like a man liking a man, or a woman telling me, this is my girlfriend, girl to girl. Myself, I don't know, it's because from where I come from, Nandi County, we are a bit traditional, but myself, I've never seen. And I really hope not to see, because that's satanic, it's ungodly. I don't want to even go further into that. I can even be physical. Yes, it's ungodly, so at least to speak.
Thank you so much for clearing the hair. So, well, I'll ask you one more question.
Yes.
They say that we cannot avoid this because it's already 30% are already in the community, in the LGBTQ community. What do you think we can do for the future to avoid our kids going to that direction?
Well, right now, as you know, the world has become a global village. With the internet, the technology, there's nothing much you can do to expose our children from this vice. Go into Netflix today. Then the number of movies that shows that narrative of LGBTQ, over 60% or 70%. So let's start from the basics, the family unit. Me as a father, how do I nurture my daughter? Me as a father, how do I nurture this son to become a great father in the future? How do I nurture this daughter of mine to be a great mother in the future? It starts with the basic family unit. From there, I'm sure if we lay a good foundation for our kids, that narrative, no matter where they get it, they will always rebuke it. They will know it's satanic, they will know it's ungodly, and it has no place in our society. Yes.
So generally you're saying it begins at home.
Yes.
There you have it.
Maybelline.
Maybelline, the topic of today, we are talking about LGBTQ community and the rule that was made that they can register for the NGOs, they can form association groups like NGOs. Do you think that's an alarm? It's raising an alarm for the churches and Kenya generally?
Okay, yeah, for the churches, they'll talk definitely because it's against their laws and everything. It's not allowed in the Bible and stuff. Yeah, but from my personal perspective, as long as it's not affecting anyone, just let them. I'm straight, personally, I'm very straight, but I feel the same way you are allowed to go to church is the same way, just let them do their thing. As long as they're not harming anyone in the community, hawafanyi mtu kitu, wache tu watu wafanye kitu wanataka kufanya.
Maybe do you think the future and the society is at stake? Because when we say that we are not harming anyone, we have kids and we have a culture that we are trying to protect, and a parent will stand and say that I don't want my child to follow that path. Don't you?
Something. Kitambo, makeup was not allowed. It's something satanic. Right now, what am I putting on? Right now, what is the Charlene Ruto doing pale online after watu wamemtroll? Sanaenda anapaka makeup. Society, culture imechangiwa, right? Yeah, so by the end of the day, modernization imeingia, it's just going to come. That I guarantee. Hata tukikataa saizi, it's already here. Watu wanavaa whatever, watu wanapatana kwa parties za LGBTQ. Iko hapa, whether tupende ama tusipende, it's here with us. Yeah.
So, Maybelline, maybe we conclude. Do you what will happen? For example, let's talk about you. You say it's okay, let somebody be happy. What will happen if your kid comes and tells you, "Mom, I'm in love with a girl," he's a boy, and "Mom, I'm in love with my fellow man, maybe in school or somewhere."
Mimi niko sawa.
Don't you feel like maybe I would have felt like a parent? Because how do you explain somebody? Yes, you give birth to a girl, and she grows up and she'll be like, "Hey, Mom, I feel like I'm a man."
I feel like I'm a man.
Yes. She tells you, "Mom, I feel like I'm a man."
The moment she's already told me that, what do you think I'll do? Like ashasema, niende nimtape nifanye nini? What I'm supposed to do? Unaona the same way mzazi anakubalingi, my 12-year-old is pregnant. That she has failed as a parent, technically. But now what do you do? Either mpeleka ende abort, ama ukae naye azae mtoto muendelee na maisha. So for me, I'll just stay with my kid. Ashakuja. I can't take her or him atisijui kwa whatever, because I'll know by the end of the day, iko kwa akili yake, I'm wasting my time. Yeah.
So, what do you think happens? Like, what do you think is to be blamed? Is it the internet for what is happening in the social, like in our youth generation right now?
Yeah, it's the internet, definitely. Hizi vitu hazikukua tukikuwa class 4, class 5. Like we've grown up, sote tuko straight. Sote tunashikwa kwa makosa za boy girlfriend relationship, but right now tumekuja tukapatiwa masimu, tukafanywa nini. Now we are here. Ndio hii hapa tumechukua kutoka majuu. We are moving on with it.
Max, the topic of today, we are talking about the LGBTQ community and the ruling that was done by the Supreme Court that they can register, they can form associations like NGOs. What do you think about that?
Personally, I believe that everyone has their own opinions. We have our own beliefs. And I think if the government has agreed to something, I'm sure they sat down, deliberated, and they came to a consensus that it is safe for the people to do so. In my own opinion, I think everyone has their own, like, the things they want to do on their own timelines. And sexuality is not something you can just tell someone, this is how you were born, but you have to change. You see, I cannot change my sexuality to become something I'm not accustomed to, something I'm not comfortable. I have to be comfortable in my own skin to do something. You get? Yes.
So you are saying that sexuality is not something that you can tell somebody not, like, this is what you're supposed to be. But when I look at you, you're born a man, you're born a woman, and that has brought about heated conversations in the internet. Do you think that someone who is gay or somebody who is a lesbian can stand and say, it's not me, si kupenda kwangu, it's within me, that's how I'm born? How true is that? Don't you think that these people are going against biology? Biology does not exist.
Biology does exist, but to be honest, this is a changing world. And every day people come up with different things, different ideologies. You know, we are no longer believing the basics. We are moving to an era where everyone is living their own life. Like, you do what suits you, you know. It's like when you grow up, your mom is always telling you, no, achana hiki tu ni mbaya. But when you reach a certain age, she's like, this is your life. You do as you please.
So if this thing was to be legalized, would you support it?
Personally, I'm on a neutral ground. I don't support it, and I do support it at some sense, because I cannot marry someone who I'm not in love with, and I cannot become someone I'm not. The Bible says pretenders are worse than murderers. So would you rather we become gangsters, all of us, we just live the lives the way we feel is right for us? So that is the question I'm posing to people. Yes. So
you're saying you're neutral. If your son or daughter comes to tell you, Dad, I'm gay, or Dad, I'm falling in love with a man, how would you take it as a man or as a dad?
Personally, as a person who believes and who was raised up and brought up in a Christian family, to be honest, it will be a disappointment. I'll feel like I failed as a parent, and my child has also failed me. You know, he has gone against the things that I've taught him, the principles I've tried to instill in him. But I'll also look at it in a different perspective, where this is my child. And in any case, I'm the only person who he'll look up to. Whether 60 or 50 years down the line, he'll still run to me and say, Daddy, this thing is hurting me. This thing is challenging me in this way. And I'm the only person who will understand how to help him. So I'll figure it a way to maybe try and tell him that this is bad, but also give him a leeway to become himself or herself. Yes.
So who do you think is to be blamed for the young society becoming or following the roots of the gay and lesbian community?
I don't think anyone is to be blamed, but I think the biggest influence is media. You know, because most people living in Africa are trying to mimic the West, you know, like in sense of fashion, in sense of even the music industry has turned to the westernized kind of culture, you know. Nowadays you can see Africans having tattoos, like braiding, you know, and the men, and it's something that we are coming to understand and to actually get used to. So necessarily it's the media, because I believe if we could have been playing like 90% of African stuff, like I know Citizen, they still put on Afro cinemas, you know, because they try to remind us of how African we are. You know, we are going against our own cultures. And for me, it's very disappointing. But everyone has their voice of their own. And I believe everyone's voice has to be heard at some point, yes.
So generally, to conclude, you're trying to tell us if anything, if the community was to be legalized, we should embrace it.
For sure. Not really. I don't believe it's African to do so. But you can't change a watermelon to become an orange. That is generally impossible, you know. So if worst comes to worst, then it's like we just live with it. Vile tumeishi na corona and ukimwi and the rest, you know. Yeah, we learn to live with it. Let everyone live their life. If God decides ndio siku ya punishment, well, kila mtu atajua on their own day. Si hadi tutenda kama mbogi. Si unaona? Yeah.
This has been Angaza 254 Real Talk on LGBTQ with your girl Cashy. Of course, leave your comments on the comment section. You can let us know what topic we discuss next on the comment section and your views on the LGBTQ community, whether they should be legalized or not. Thank you.